stay. Come here, sit down and stay. Sit and stay. Come here, right here. Hi, my name is Robert Smith. I live in Kalamazoo, Michigan. I've had a problem for a few months with a number of organizations in the city of Kalamazoo violating my civil rights under the Americans with Disabilities Act. I was ejected from Kalamazoo Valley Community College 2 weeks before the summer semester ended because they decided that my dog was not a service dog. The final decision was left up to a gentleman named Ken Colby. Ken Colby heads up the police academy and is also head of security. Ken Colby decided that based on state law, my dog is not a service dog. And under state law, that's correct. Unfortunately, service dogs are regulated by the Civil Rights Act, Disability Section, which is the Americans with Disabilities Act. Under the Americans with Disabilities Act, a service dog does not need to be certified, does not need a license, does not need to be professionally trained, and needs absolutely no paperwork. Although you're better off having a letter from your doctor explaining that your dog does indeed perform a physical function. So my dog assists me getting on the bus. She also helps me up and down stairs. She's well behaved. She lays quietly on the bus. People love her. She was a pet before I trained her to help me as a service dog. So I guess she's both at this point. But because she is able to help me with physical functions under the Americans with Disabilities Act, she is deemed a service dog and is allowed to accompany me anywhere. I have a blog called mikeandlexus.onablog.com. It's M-I-K-E, letter N, Lexus, L-E-X-U-S, onablog.com. This will tell you more about my situation. It also has a number of pages from the Justice Department and other sources that explain the law, including a section which is Service Dog Facts for Law Enforcement. And if you want to learn something about the law, take a look. I'd appreciate some support here. For 5 weeks now, the city attorney's office has not allowed my dog Lexus on the bus. So for each day the bus runs, it doesn't run Sunday, but for each day for the last 5 weeks that the bus operated, the city attorney's office has violated my civil rights each of those days that they don't allow Lexus on the bus. Now they're subject to a fine, which I'm going to try to get in excess of the $55,000, since there's actually more than 30 occurrences where they've violated my civil rights, which is really, really ridiculous. And, I find these people to be arrogant, rude, and they think they know what they're talking about, but they haven't got a clue what the federal law actually means. So check out my blog. I'd appreciate it if you'd visit it. I don't have too many comments right now, but there are a number of informational pages. I'm 60 years old. I suffer from neuropathy. I have difficulty walking. I have a balance problem. I also have COPD. I'm a diabetic. And Lexus cures my diabetic supplies, so they're with me at all times, because she's with me at all times, except for the dunderheads at the city attorney's office who now don't allow her to ride the bus. So these people at the city's attorney's office, Kalamazoo has an ordinance, 1856, to protect the civil rights of the citizens. The people who are supposed to support you and assist you in protecting your civil rights is the Kalamazoo City Attorney's Office. These are the people that are violating my rights. So this is a pretty big dichotomy as I see it, and it's just ridiculous. And these people are so ignorant that it defies belief. So I'd like some support here. If you live in Kalamazoo, call the mayor, call the newspaper, call the TV station, and ask them why they haven't done anything about publicizing my story and helping me get my civil rights back. Uh, Kalamazoo was recently rated number 10 as the worst city in regards to treating the homeless. Now, having been homeless within the last year, um, I think they do make an attempt to try, but I've had difficulty with the police and uh, nothing serious. But I see this all the time that they disrespect and they corner people in the park. If you're 5 feet away from somebody who's smoking a joint, you're in the drug zone, so they search everybody, which is also ridiculous. So now I'm wondering where this is going to put Kalamazoo in relation to civil rights violations, because they're violating my civil rights every day. And not only me, but anyone who's in my position who's got a self-trained service dog, they're generally disrespected. They're not allowed to go anywhere with their dog, and their civil rights are being violated. So if you're in that group, one of the pages on my site is a Justice Department page. You could look it up yourself, but it's on my blog, and it tells you how to file a complaint with the Justice Department. A single violation of the act is a fine of up to $55,000. Now, the city of Kalamazoo, the attorney's office, has violated my civil rights more than 30 times, 30 days, in the last 35 days. So, you know, if if uh, if this were 300 years ago, they'd be executed. Uh, and personally, I think that would be a fitting punishment. But they're subject to a lawsuit, which I will definitely file against the city. They flagrantly violated federal law, an act of Congress. I gave the assistant city attorney some information about the federal act, and she ignored it. Uh, she wanted a better letter from my doctor, which she had no legal right to ask for, but I provided one of those letters on the 7th of September. That was 22 days ago. And so I guess they're deliberating, is what I understand. Uh, I believe it only took moments to make the decision that my dog was not a service dog, and it's taken more than a month for them to realize the dog is a service dog. So I'm going for the full punishment from the ADA, the Justice Department, and I'm going to sue the city of Kalamazoo, and they deserve what they get. So, if you live in Kalamazoo, give me some support. Write the Gazette. Call anybody that's influential that can talk to the mayor, talk to the city commissioners, because I need help here. And Lexus is also an emotional support dog, and I practically have a nervous breakdown every time I have to leave her. And she cries, of course, because she's used to being with me 24 hours a day. She's gone to school with me. She lays quietly. When we're in the computer room, she lays quietly under the desk. She doesn't bark at people. She doesn't growl at people. She does occasionally growl. She's a dog, but she's growling kind of under her breath, and she does so at noises, not at people. Uh, because dogs don't like people knocking. They don't like people dropping things. It scares them when they hear a noise and they think there's a threat. So, but she's never ever been a threat to the general public, and I could get probably 200 people who've ridden the bus with us who know Lexus and could attest to the same thing. And maybe that's what I'm going to have to do, because the city of Kalamazoo is so moronic. They can't fix a mistake they made, and it's going to be a very costly mistake, because I'm planning a $25 million lawsuit, and actually anticipating $1 million for every day that they violate my civil rights. So if that continues, then the $25 million is going to become 30 million or 40 million or 50 million. And unfortunately, since they flagrantly violated a federal act of Congress, a federal law, they're going to lose. And I hope that this assistant city attorney, Marcia Jones, loses her job. And when this is all said and done, I'm going to the Michigan Bar Association and try to get her disbarred, because as far as I'm concerned, this makes her a criminal, and she should be no longer allowed to practice law. Anyway, I'm sorry this is such a long video, but this is an important issue for me, and I appreciate you taking the time to watch, and I certainly would appreciate some support. So please visit my blog, and if you live in Kalamazoo, please talk to anybody you know that might be influential that can help me out here. Once again, my name is Robert Smith, and my dog's name is Lexus. She's a beautiful bulldog pit dog mix, bulldog pit bull mix, and she's really gentle. Even little 1-year-old babies come up and pet her. There was absolutely no reason for the city of Kalamazoo to target us. There was no reason for the Kalamazoo Library to target us. There was no reason for Kalamazoo Valley Community College to target us and say my dog is not a service dog. This whole thing is just ridiculous, and I feel like I'm just a few steps away from being tarred and feathered, because I'm disabled and I have a service dog. So, might make a nice buck. Anyway, I hope all of you have a good day, a safe day, and I hope you don't have to deal with the bullshit that I'm dealing with from the city of Kalamazoo. So, take care of yourselves and have a good day. Thank you.